Hey everyone, welcome back to Pine Hollow Auto Diagnostics. We're at a local shop. Got called in for this 2004 Ram 1500 5.7 Hemi V8. 106,000 miles, pretty low miles truck for the year. Customer complaint is on a cold start, it's shaking, misfiring, running rough, low power. Once it warms up, apparently it gets better. Okay, so code scan, first and foremost, we got two codes stored, P0300, P0157, O2 sensor, bank 2, sensor 2, circuit low. Okay, so where would we start? Let's take a look at some live scan data. The truck is cold right now, so on a cold start, look at the basics. You know, how fast are the oxygen sensors warming up, what are the fuel trims, which cylinders are misfiring, and we'll go from there. Alright, got some live data pulled up in the OE menu. So long-term fuel trim on bank 1, 3%. The oxygen sensors, as they warm up, they'll go into the 0 to 1 volt range. So they start at 2.5. That's the bias voltage, so all 4 of them. Short term on bank 1 is 0. Short term bank 2, 0. Long term bank 2, 12,778%. I don't know what that means. So actually in this case, I want to get out of the OE menu and go into familiar OBD2 mode and just look at basic fuel trims. We'll see if one bank is affected. The shop here said they did take it for a test drive, and on scan data they noticed that bank 2, cylinders 2, 4, 6, and 8, were really unhappy. And then it set the P0300 code. They didn't look at fuel trims or oxygen sensors, so let's start with OBD2 basic data. Okay, this seems a little more reasonable. The 4 oxygen sensors are at 1.3. They're still cold. Short terms are at 0. Long terms are about close to 0. 3 on bank 1, minus 1 on bank 2. So let's fire it up. Seems to run pretty decent in open loop while it's warming up. Great throttle response. Look at bank 2. Okay, bank 2 sensor 1 is also heating up. It's a little behind bank 1 sensor 1. Now the short terms should start correcting. Sounds like it has a supercharger or something. Let's take it for a test drive. See what happens. Okay, so on bank 2, I just saw the fuel trims go to minus 30. What the heck? And then it really lost power. So bank 2 sensor 2 is dead in the water, looks like. Is it trying to jack up the fuel trims for bank 2? Bank 1 looks fine. Bank 1 sensor 2, oh sorry, bank, this beeping is going to be super annoying. Bank 2 sensor 1 is stuck high. Okay. Okay, so bank 1 I'm happy with. This one's oscillating, this one's at 0.9. Bank 1 sensor 1, bank 1 sensor 2. What is going on with bank 2? Boom, it just kicked in. It goes to minus 30% fuel trim, and then kind of back in business. So let's keep driving it, warm up these oxygen sensors, see if they wake up. It might just need a couple oxygen sensors on bank 2. Look, plus 25%, minus 32%. It should have more power. So when the fuel trims are close to 0, we're good. I'm tempted to just unplug these oxygen sensors on bank 2. Yeah, it's going to be a fuel mixture problem. Well, now on the second start, what do we notice? All the oxygen sensors are happy. Bank 2 long term is a little high. But all the oxygen sensors are alive and reacting, and the truck drives just fine. So I think these are just old oxygen sensors. Alright, so I unplugged bank 2 sensor 2. You see that just reading 1.3 volts. Look at the fuel trims on bank 2. It's taking massive fuel away because bank 2 sensor 1, the upstream, is also bad. So bank 1 is happy, bank 2 is garbage. How do you think it's going to drive with minus 30% on bank 2? Let's see. Again, that sensor is just dead. It's trying to get this voltage down. It cannot. So we're done. It needs at least 2 oxygen sensors on both on bank 2, upstream and downstream, but I would say replace them all. Okay, it really doesn't want to get out of its own way going up this little hill. Look at the fuel trim, minus 32% on bank 2. Oh, now it's kicking in a little bit because it went back to 0. Let's unplug bank 2 sensor 1 and see what happens. Alright, so I unplugged both bank 2 sensors. That's the passenger side. You can see long-term bank 2 is minus 30. Let's clear the trouble codes. I want to see if that resets the fuel trims. Now let's read live data again. Just long terms, all the O2s, and short terms. Fire it up. Okay, it's running like garbage. It still didn't clear the memory. We can unplug the battery. We're going to OEM mode and yeah, let's unplug the battery first. Easier said than done. Oh man, looks terrible. Let's reconnect it, see if the fuel trim's zeroed out. Alright, sweet. After battery disconnect, all our fuel trims are zeros. Let's fire it up. So both bank 2s, sensor 1 and sensor 2, should stay at this 1.3 volts. See bank 1 starting to respond. And truck should run perfect actually with bank 2 sensors disconnected. So the strategy here looks like bank 2 is going to use the bank 1 fuel trims. Sweet! Customer complaint resolved. The bad parts are disconnected and truck's going to run perfect. So check engine light obviously is going to be on. But that's it. The fuel trims are identical now. Both long and short term trim. That's awesome. So if the customer wants to keep driving it like this, that's fine. If they want to replace sensors, that's fine too. You know, once these sensors fail, I guess you could unplug all of them. It'll just run an open loop. It should still run decent. The only reason it was running crappy is because the sensors were lying. It was trying to compensate, you know, pulled the fuel trims to minus 30%, and that's it. So, pretty straightforward diagnosis, but neat solution. The computer's smart enough to use the good sensor, but you have to unplug the bad ones because the computer will trust the bad ones and throw off your fuel trims. So thanks all for watching. We'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye. So, a little bonus footage, just rescan it for codes. We have heater control circuit high, bank 2 sensor 1, bank 2 sensor 2, no other codes, so the truck will run absolutely fine with these codes.